Okay, first of all, GMMTV, you must have watched my recap to know that one thing. Your organization was not organized, but you did good for episode 3. Anyways, now remember Tua said he met Boston a year ago? Then yeah, we're in a year ago. In this part though, Tua was going to a club by Dean because here Dean is like, you're boring, you're too innocent, you need to branch out, find somebody. Again, Tua is a virgin and a very quiet type of person. So Dean decided that he wants to bring Tua out. Bear in mind, in this time, Dean and Jack were in a relationship. Okay, so Dean and Tua met up with Jack. Jack was chilling with Boston. Jack introduced Boston to them, and I love how Jack said, "Hey, this is my boyfriend." So Boston, stay away. But anyways, seeing that Tua is single and still trying to mingle, Dean decided to say, "Hey, why don't you just hook up with Boston, get to know Boston better?" Also, Jack told us the reason he knows Boston is because before going to this university, he was in another university in business management, and he was a classmate with Boston. That's how he knows him. Now, the whole thing you setting up with Boston, I blame Dean because poor Dean, he didn't know nothing, but still, you ready to sell out your only friend to Boston? If only you knew. First of all, whoever dressed the Neo, God bless you, because everything was showing the feature of the body, everything. Also, I did do my facts on episode 3 in my channel, so if I don't say any more details in this one, it's gonna be in that one, and if it doesn't, it's gonna be in my other recap. So bear with me. Okay, first of all, this one shocked me because I remember in episode 2, Tua and Arnold was chilling and talking about first kiss. You hear that word? Kiss, Kiss. Tua told Arnold that his first kiss was with an asshole. When he said asshole, I knew it was Boston because he's the only asshole I know. Plus, we know Boston was going to be in it. So I said, okay, it's Boston. And at the end of episode 2, we found that out, right? But like I said, Tua said first kiss. He didn't say anything about sex. So I'm assuming that's what it meant. I mean, Arnold must have picked it up or something because I didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, Boston still has that habit. What habit I'm talking about? Well, Boston has a habit of when he has sex with the people that he meets, he takes pictures of them. The thing I don't like is that he has a mouth on him. He knows how to make you feel good, like you're something special, because that's what he says. He says he takes pictures of people he finds special. But he's not going to tell you that, he sleeps with multiple people. No, that's not what he's going to do. He's going to make you feel special, make you be the only person for him. That's what he did with Mark's character, and he's doing it for for Tua, which, by the way, I don't get it. I really don't. Has anyone ever seen so many pictures? Well, technically, Mark's character kind of know where he stands, but for Tua, he doesn't know nothing about Boston. Still, sir, you just met the guy. You made this guy persuade you to have sex with him, and that was it. Okay, it's time to take a full-on poster of the cast. I mean, I'm not gonna say Boston did a good job. I don't like when Boston is aiming for Tua, though, making it obvious for other people. I mean, Dean and Jack knows how Tua and Boston was, but does they fully know what happened? Anyways, we see an additional person. We see Pete, Fluke's character. Pete is the accountant. I did say that in my fact. First of all, one thing I want to say about Dean is he might be a bitch sometimes, but he's a good friend to Tua, which makes me wonder if the pilot version of the drama changed the twist, which was Arnold who is secretly in love with Dean. I'm not seeing that, and we're in episode 3. But anyways, Dean is talking to Tua and asking Tua if he talked to Arnold about that kiss. Because remember, on the party time when they were celebrating all the cast in Tua's place, Tua got drunk, well, not too drunk, and kissed Arnold. But after that, everything awkward because I thought Arnold kissed back. But apparently, a lot of viewers are saying that never really happened. And looking at it, it might seem that way. But I saw a mouth moving, so whatever. Anyways, Tua said he didn't get a chance to talk to him and he doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. So might as well just forget about it. Anyways, Arnold came, then Dean was like, I'm going to give you two some moment to talk. And then Dean and Tua started talking, right? Okay, before talking about this, I was watching the show and I'm like, I might be wrong if this cameraman did his job good or the editors didn't do good. But I kind of saw Neo right beside at the camera because I was looking, I was like, isn't this the shirt that Neo was wearing? Because if so, then the cameraman did wrong and the editor did wrong. Or I might be looking into it too much. But anyways, they're talking. And Tua nervously, shyly tries to bring up the kiss. And whilst talking, here comes Arnold to ruin the whole conversation. It's like, no, you don't have to worry about it because we were both drunk and we did things on a drunken moment. It didn't really happen. Something like that. I'm like, not exactly what Tua was about to say, but I mean, if you say it's nothing, then I just have to say it's nothing, and we will just blame it on liquor. After watching episode 1 and 2 and fully watch episode 3, I'm trying to figure out for Rafi's sake, like, what is the point? Why are you fighting to someone you're definitely losing to? And we'll get to why I'm saying that. But I'm just saying, like, you want the guy, but the guy don't want you. Stop. Don't you already have the guy's brother? I mean, at first you didn't know it was his brother. That was just pure coincidence. But after knowing that, like, I'm just saying, you got the brother. Hell, you having sex with the brother. How many times? Twice? And if we go again, it would be 3 times. But I'm just saying, leave it alone. The guy don't want you. I don't see why you using your strength to fight Dean. And Dean already knows he's winning. So that's why it doesn't take much energy for him to even bother with Rafi at this point. Hear me out. For Fluke's character, I'm disappointed. Here's why. Because I've seen Fluke dress and he can definitely be that fashionista. It just that maybe the stylist didn't want him to overdress the actors. I get that. But it's like if they're going for a nerdy look, it could have been a nerdy look, but like sassy with it, I don't like how they did his hair. I don't like how they did his entire outfit. It's just, I don't like it overall. But anyways, here comes Pete. Pete talked to Rafi, said he gotta leave because he has to open up a bank account for the play. Dude, it's just a mini project. How big is this gonna be? Why do we need to open a bank account? After this is over, what you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna execute all the money take out all the money out of the bank and then split it up with everyone and then close the bank account? That makes sense. This one I find very cute, and the fact that Rome was very observant on this matter. So Rafi's searching up food like the lunch boxes to eat, but the thing is, all of them that he noticed as fish in it. And Rome is like, why don't you just eat the food? Rome found out from Rafi that Rafi is allergic to fish. And since Rome has chicken, he decided to give Rafi the chicken that he has. That's how much he cares about him. The fact that Rafi literally told Rome another part of his weakness is a lot of things. And you're wondering another part. He didn't tell him before. See, he didn't tell him in episode 2, but he found out through episode 2 that Rafi is the son of an actress, right? But you can see on Rafi's face that he doesn't like when people refer him or like identify him as such son. He has a name. So yeah, that's the second one. First of all, I feel like I've seen this staircase before, but I might be wrong. But if the case that I'm not wrong, then this could be the staircase where we saw Top Farm and Me and Thee, just in a different angle. Anyways, they're sitting and they're talking about how they had their 2-night stand and how they're starting to get connected. That's what Rome feels. And Rome is like, can we just go swimming after this, chill, get to talk normally. That's cool and all, but eventually some people are gonna find out the truth, sir, about you hooking up with these two And I do hope that Rafi will start to like forget about Jack, because clearly he knows he's not getting Jack, but he's going for it regardless. That's how you know this boy don't give up. I need actors or people who like poetry to actually explain this. In the quiet clatter of cups, your laugh became my favorite sound. What does that mean? What does that mean? Anyways, Jack went smoking, and Dean came. As always, he always following Jack. Anyways, Dean came to Jack and told Jack that he needs to find some other photographer other from Boston. And Jack is like, why would I need to change Boston? Boston is the only person that I can think of. Plus, he is free. They don't have a supporter or a sponsor at this moment because they're new in the project. We can't afford anything. And Boston is the only one that agreed to do this for free. Yeah, Dean then said, yeah, you do know that Boston and Tua hooked up, right? Jack is like, yeah, I know. But then Dean said, did you know that Boston hooked up with Tua and then left, like he nailed and bailed? And Jack is like, are you serious? Like he really did that? And Dean is like, yes, he did. Now Jack still stuck on this because he knows Boston is good, but at the same time he's doing it for free. He can't not let him go. So Jack and Dean agreed on one thing. They agreed to use Boston, but also monitors Boston so that Boston wouldn't get near to Tua. So Dean watched Tua and Jack watched Boston, so nothing goes wrong. But at the same time, they can both use Boston but also watches him, which is a good idea. But still, we're talking about Boston here. How are we gonna, Now, while Jack and Dean having that conversation about Boston decided to take up his little foot to walk all the way to Tua to talk to Tua. Obviously, we know Tua is avoiding Boston, and Boston can see it, and Boston is like, are you still upset with the nail and bail part? And Tua is like, no, we forget about it, and we're just trying to act professional. Now, Tua was about to walk off, but here comes Boston trying to block his path, talking about the reason why he came back is because he wants to pursue Tua again to see where things go. Yeah, Dad, we don't believe that. Why don't you try to pursue Mark's character and see if Mark comes back to you? And if he does, then we're going to slap Mark and then slap Tua if they both think this is the right thing to do. Because obviously we knows that Boston is not a person who likes to settle down. On the other hand, though, I would love to see Neo and Gawain kiss just once, because, I mean, you told Arnold that you kissed Boston, right? But we didn't see the kiss. We saw you be naked on the bed, and that's basically you having sex. We need to see a kiss, or at least I need to see a kiss. I love this part when Boston looked at the camera, the confession camera, and is like, I'm back. I was like, I'm back, bitch. I don't think he meant Boston is back. I think he meant Boston's ways, his habit, his conniving self is back. And I ain't gonna lie to you, out of all the characters that should be back mainly, Boston is the right one because he's the only one that can bring on the problems. And JoJo did say he wants problem. He wants a lot of chaotic things. And Boston is the right character that can bring it. I don't think Rafi is realizing this, but Rafi is starting to feel more comfortable and he let his guards down more when he's around Rome. But he's not realizing that because in his mind, he thinks there's more the main focus is to be with Jack, even though he knows Jack don't want him. And then Rome here, we already know Rome just likes the company and the fact that he can get pleasures from Rafi, even though he knows what Rafi's plan is. But hey, whatever. Okay, so while walking, they meet up with another guy who clearly knows Rome. He's talking about if Rome is going to come to a party that he's hosting, and he wants Rome to be the DJ because he knows Rome used to come at his party. Now, seeing this, Rafi's watching, and Rafi's like, huh? Who is this guy? He don't know nobody. You're just standing there and listening until the guy's like, wait, what happened to that guy you always came with? That guy, what's his name? Something Dean. Something with Dean. And because the name Dean beside the name, Rafi's like, what Dean? Whose Dean are we talking about? And you can see it in his face that he has a plan. When Rome is looking at Rafi, he's like trying to hide the fact that he knows what the guy is talking about, and he's like, "Oh no, we don't know. I don't know about that person." Pretending so Rafi doesn't get it, because he knows Rafi's ways and he knows what he's gonna do or whatever. He knows Rafi. So the guy was like, "Okay then, but you're coming to the party to DJ, right?" And Rome is like, "Yeah." You see this face? You can't trust his face. Because even though he looks so innocent and clueless, you don't know what's going in his mind. You can't trust anything that's going in his mind. The greatest thing about this show, this season 2, is that it's not as chaotic as season 1. But then again, we're in episode 3. We don't know if it's gonna be chaotic, right? But still, in episode 1, 2, and 3, we saw the chaotic and we already knew that we hated Boston. Yet we don't see anything hateful, except the fact that in episode 1 and 2 we kind of don't like Dean's ways, but that's it. They don't do anything chaotic like how Boston did it. But we're in episode 3, we don't know yet. Before I start, there are 1 or 2 people in this pool place. There are 1 or 2 people, but Rafi doesn't care. He doing what he's doing. And you're probably wondering, Samantha, what are you talking about? Well, Rafi's hands is in Rome's pants, so we don't need to get into details for your imagination to really run wild what's going on. With that, Rafi always knows how to get his way with Rome, or at least he studied how to get his way with Rome sexually. So while he's pleasuring Rome, Rafi's asking questions about certain things about the party that the guy invited Rome to. Rome said he's not getting paid, he's doing it for free, and that, it's a secret party that not much people get invited to, and he's the one DJing it at this place. So Rafi's like, can I come? And Rome like, no, even though he's getting that pleasure, he knows how to answer these things. But because Rafi is pleasuring Rome, he stopped. You can't stop in that moment. So Rome is like, why'd you stop? He's like, I will only continue if you make me come with you at the party. We all know the reason why Rafi is going there, but Rome doesn't know. And because Rome is literally peak eye and wants that pleasure, he said, okay, he will let him come. On the condition, if Rafi do come at the party, he must promise that whatever he sees or hear in this party, he doesn't say anything. Because it's one of those parties that what you see or hear is just keep it at the parties. You know what stays in Vegas? What happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, what happened in the party stays in the party. So Rafi promised not to say anything or do anything. He just wants to come to see how the party is. And so Rome agreed. And then he went back to the pleasuring. Okay, Arnold and Tua. As you know, Arnold always be the one to bring Tua home and classes and places that he wants to go. But here's the thing. They're stuck at Tua's place because it's pouring rain. So Arnold is like, damn, it's raining heavy. And Tua made this as a good opportunity to tell Arnold so he can stay. Arnold is like, I don't want to intrude in your whole thing. And I mean, Dean is coming back. So Tua is like, no, Dean's not going to come back for now, so you can chill. And besides, it's my place, right? So with enough persuasion and stuff, of course, Arnold agreed. He's like, oh, I'm going to shower because I'm sticky. I'm like, damn. So we're getting we that comfortable? Okay, I like it already. So Jack and Boston are at Pink Pony. Bars are very important in Only Friends because in Only Friends season 1 there was this specific bar where everyone goes to. I don't remember the name of the bar, but anyways, they're at the bar and Jack is talking to Boston, asking Boston how was life in America, how have you adapting it because he knows that, hey, you must have many one night stands, right? Boston's like, oh yeah, life there. I got pleasures. I got many pleasures, and one night stand was great. And he said that he likes America because you can basically do anything, be whatever ever you want, be free, do whatever you want. But then when Boston said that, Jack looked at Boston and like, if you enjoyed it so much, why did you come back to Thailand? Boston then says that the reason he came back to Thailand is because, even though America is great, but he feels like there was more to it. Like he needed a little chill, something like that. I don't remember, and I'm not going back. He said the reason why he came back is because he just, whatever. Moving on. Anyways, Boston then looked at Jack and said Jack should go to America and try to adventure, get new ideas in his directing field, because America is a place where you can gain adventure, get some ideas. Plus, there's Broadway, something Broadway. And then Jack is like, that sounds interesting. I might give it a shot or try. I'm like, you should, Jack. You should. You can't just stay in one place and expect you get the idea. You have to experience it. I mean, that's what people say. I mean, to me, I don't really travel at all, never. But still, seeing through other people's vlogs and music videos and movies and dramas, I can get one or two gist of all of it. So, yeah. The conversation then steered to Dean. See, for your information, Boston knows Jack and Dean broke up. But Boston also realized that Dean is in the play that Jack is directing. So Boston decided to ask if Jack and Dean are back together. Jack told Boston that no, they're not together, but after saying that, he got a call from Dean and he immediately answered. Dean on the phone told Jack that he can't get into Jack's place and asked if Jack changed the passcode. Jack said yes, and that Dean must go home because it's not his right to be there, and that he must mind his own business and leave his place. But after getting off the phone with Jack, you think Dean would leave. No, that is exactly what he didn't do. Dean went down to the receptionist. That's what you call them? Receptionist? Anyways, and put on a big performance act, started crying and saying that he's worried about his boyfriend because he talked to his boyfriend on the phone and he's stuck in the house and I don't have the passcode and he changed it and he's worried that he might be suicidal. But even though the receptionist like, no, I can't do that. The rules goes only people who is a tenant in the place can whatever. To be honest, I can see why Jack gave Dean the acting role, because he can act. Because tell me why homeboy literally convinced the receptionist to take him to the room and give him an actual card, a key card, to get into the room. And when he got into the room, Dean pretended that, oh, my boyfriend is just drunk sleeping and that it's okay, the receptionist can leave now, and when he's done he can just go home. Okay, so while Dean is in Jack's place, he tries to tidy up the place, but also strolling and searching. Apparently, he really did left his wallet. While he searched in the drawer, a very drawer that was barely opened, he saw a wristband from a rehabilitation center with Jack's name on it. So yeah, Jack went to rehab for quite some time. Now, the question is, why did he go to rehab? We don't know yet. Also, it would be nice to let me know if Jack ever met Ray in the rehabilitation center, or if it's the same rehab that Ray went to, if he went. But also, Ray went to therapy as well, so I know why Ray went. We don't know why Jack went. When Jack got home, Jack sees that Dean is in his place, and Dean confronted Jack. Dean was purely worried because not only did Dean say to Jack that he found the wristband for being in a rehabilitation center, he wants to know why Jack went there. I mean, that big performance with the receptionist about Jack being a suicidal person may come true. No, that's not it. Jack told Dean that the reason he went to rehab was because of Dean. Dean is the reason, but we don't know what Dean did at this point for Jack to go to rehab. Jack ended up forcing Dean out of his house, and I'm guessing it's because he doesn't want to talk to Dean about what Dean did to him and what he had to go through the rehab or relive everything. Now, since Jack forced Dean out his house or his room, Dean can't go back in because remember, Dean don't got no passcode to the room. Although I think he has the pass key. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. Maybe down the line, episode 4, 5, 6, maybe we might see some closure. Still, we don't see the part where Jack broke up with Dean. Then we have these two just chilling, watching movie. When I watch this, I'm like, this is purely Gawain and Joss. Still cannot believe that during the My Golden Blood, these two literally lived together. Don't know why, but they lived together. Epic. Anyways, can we talk about the shorts that Gawain is wearing? Like, I get it. In My Golden Blood, Homeboy's legs were hairy. If you saw it in the NCC, you saw them airy legs. So the director's like, you need to shave your legs. Shave them so they can get smooth. And then how far are we supposed to look? Because that thing is extra short. Like, extra short, Gawain. And the fact that Joss was teasing Gawain is like, I like the feel of Joss' smooth legs. And I'm like, are we going to see that when down the line in the drama? Are we going to see Joss caressing Gawain's legs? Anyways, they were enjoying the movie, enjoying their snacks until they heard someone at the door ring the doorbell. And when Tua got up, it's none other than Boston, looking like a person from Scary Movie. So here's the thing what Tua did wrong, that I feel like he needs to go to the manufacturer. He needs to rebuild. Homeboy looked, his whole entire door was glass. So all he had to do is move the curtains, see who it is. Now, if I were me, and if I were Tua, which I'm not, if I saw the person that I don't want to be around, I would just put the curtain back and go back to watching my movie. Unless Boston is crazy to beat down my door and break it down, then yeah, this is where I call the cops. But anyways, Tua opens the door. See what I mean? Homeboy needs to go back to the manufacturer. And he let Boston walk in because at this point Arnold saw, and Arnold's like, oh, hey, Boston, not knowing what the shit is happening. He's just being friendly. And Boston's like, oh, Arnold, and just walked in and sit down eating the snacks. And I'm like, does he not see us? Does he not see Tua? I'm like, Tua, you need to go back to the manufacturer. Something. Hear me out. I don't like how Boston is getting too comfy with them. I don't like it. So the way how Boston just eating the snack, watching movie, then you can clearly see how Tua is uncomfortable. Homeboy didn't even want to sit next to him. While he's sitting there, he's like, dude, when is this going to be over? While poor Arnold, he doesn't know nothing. See, the thing about Boston is the type of person that can read people, that you don't want to let anything go wrong. Like, if he looks at you, he can look into your soul and sees your weakness. And that's the thing that you don't want to show Boston, because once he sees those weakness, it used it against you and use your entire strength along with it, because he's going to make sure that your strength doesn't conquer your weakness. So he's there and he's looking at Arnold and he's like, oh, I like your body. Your body is nice. It could be perfect for like a modeling thing. And Arnold's like, really? I can be a model? That's great. Because he's thinking about the money. And at this point, he's not realizing anything, right? Then Boston is like, I can like take pictures of you because I'm good at that, and you can make your own portfolio because I'm actually trying to build my portfolio. And he showed Arnold some pictures of his work. Arnold's like, oh, they're good, not knowing that poor Tua is uncomfortable and seeing that Boston is talking to his crush. Tua can't sit here and see this, so he decided like, you know what, I'm gonna like get more snacks. See, the thing that I noticed about Arnold and Tua is that with Arnold is kind of like a baby when it comes to Tua. It's like, you know, when mothers are around their babies, right? And when the mother gets up, the baby watches where the mother goes. And if that mother disappears where the baby cannot see, the baby will get up and go. That's exactly what Arnold is doing. Arnold is monitoring Tua. He knows something is off with Tua, but he doesn't know what the reason is. Okay, back to Rome and Rafi. Rome got invited to a party that he is supposed to be DJing. And of course, Rafi came along. Rafi, all purpose to come along was one thing: gain information on the specific person that Rome used to bring around. He needs to know who he needs to go to gain that information. All while watching Rome, enjoying himself, and learning a one or two about Rome and how he goes about going classing and DJing at the same time. In that moment, Rafi learned that Rome wants to pursue DJing full time and actually go to a specific place. And I'm like, Rome and Sand are the same thing. They both want to pursue music. The only difference is Rome is into DJing and he wants to travel to this specific place, and Sand is into singing and instruments, and I'm not sure if he ended up traveling to the place that he wanted to go, but that was it in season 1. So while Rome is focusing on DJing and make sure the party stays alive, Rafi saw the very guy that they bumped into at the pool who invited Rome to do DJing. He saw that the guy was smoking and used the idea of smoking with him and tried to build up a little conversation. While building the conversation, he got the guy to reveal, who's this person called Something Dean? I don't remember Something Dean, right? And he got the guy to actually show him a picture, but in this case, it's a video of Dean. Dean is that person. And Rafi don't like Dean. So this is a great opportunity to actually use this against him. And yes, he did. But the thing about it is the guy did not send him the video. No. Rafi decided to use the opportunity to get that video secretly. But the guy messed up. Now, this is where the guy messed up. Someone called him and he accidentally left his phone with Rafi. Not with him, but he left it and Rafi saw. Rafi took the phone and sent that video to himself. Now, I don't know what app this is. It's been a long time I've used it, but I use this app. I'm not sure if it's KakaoTalk or Line. I'm assuming it's Line, right? In order for you to get those videos, Rafi joined the line, gave him the invitation from the person's line so he can get the video. But when he took the video, he made sure that he deleted that video so the guy doesn't go through it to see that he sent this video to someone else. I'm trying to figure out, is the guy left his phone? Does this guy not have a password, or did he just face down the phone and left it and forgot to lock it to get the password? Because how the hell did Rafi get through to this thing? So it's the next day, and this day is where they do script reading. And it was at this moment Rafi used the opportunity to send the video of Dean being a hostess, because there are different type of hostess, and Dean was the hostess back then in the party. And it's not like a normal host, but he didn't do anything much in the video, but yet people took it offensive, whatever. Anyways, Rafi sent that video. The phone that Rafi used wasn't his phone. He used like a different phone to send it in the group chat. And everyone saw. Everyone, including Jack. When Jack sees it, and I'm seeing it, I'm like, it doesn't look that bad unless I didn't see anything. Everyone was like looking at Dean a different way. Sorry for the background noise, but everyone was looking at Dean a different way. And it's not about the video. No. It's about the guy that's in the video. Apparently he's associated with those type of things. Well, the situation got sticky, like real sticky. So Timmy got everyone to leave, including Arnold, to leave because they're not going to do the script reading at this point, and leaving just Jack, Dean, Tua, and himself. Timmy then tells everyone that this video, whatever happened in this video with Dean, this was years ago. So the fact that it's surfacing now, they want to know who told anyone or who spread this video, because only the 4 of them knew about this situation. So they're like, who did this? And Dean got upset because Dean thinks it's Jack, because let's remember, all 4 of them is the only one that knew about it. And Dean thinks that because Jack hated him or started to hate him, because remember, he snuck into his room without him knowing, and Dean thinks that's why Jack is lashing out. Because of the situation, both Jack and Dean got into a fight. It took Tua and Timmy to break them apart. Because of this situation, Jack got upset and basically told Dean the reason he broke up with Dean is mostly because of this hostess job. And also, Dean lied to Jack about doing so. See, the thing is, Dean must have promised Jack that he would never do this job again. And Jack also mentioned that because of this, it got him to go to rehab because most of the time he was drinking and, thinking about the breakup and thinking about Dean and the whole situation that it occurred, and he went to the rehab. He said some other things that got Dean to be upset and started almost crying, but Dean left. After that little situation, Tua meet up with Arnold. Arnold asked if everything is okay. Because Tua doesn't want to tell Arnold about it, Tua told Arnold to forget about it and start focusing on the play, and maybe after everything's cooled down, they can get focused on the play. Arnold started dancing, and I don't even want to show it because it was very cringy. But anyways, we didn't talk about the kiss. We did not talk about the kiss. Instead, what we did talk about is that night when Boston came over at Tua's place. See, Arnold said he noticed that something was off at that time with Tua, especially when Arnold came, and he kind of could guess that Boston did or must have, whatever, his presence must have caused some problems. So Tua basically be honest with Arnold and said that if you remember the time when he told Arnold that his first kiss was with an asshole, and Arnold's like, yeah, well, that asshole is Boston. And Arnold is like, oh, okay. Then Arnold basically told Tua that he's going to stay away from Boston too, and that if Boston ever tries to come close to Tua, then Tua should call Arnold to make him be his shield, which is cool and all, but what's gonna say about Arnold? Because even though Arnold is a shield, you say, he's too kind. But then again, the kindest one is the one we need to be afraid of, right? Arnold even said that he's always around Tua 24/7, and the only time he's gonna stop be around him that often is when Tua finds someone that he loves and wants to be in a relationship with him, because in his words he says he's too adorable to be single. And I'm like, sir, he's saving himself. Well, he's waiting for you to realize that he likes him, But Tua, Arnold, I don't think Arnold's brain is screwed on, right? To be honest, I think the manufacturer forgot to screw on his brain that much. But hey, he's a good person. Here's where things gets tricky. See, Rafi's out there enjoying his cigarettes, smoking, because he feels like he did something great in the world. Here comes Rome, very upset, starting cursing at Rafi and saying that why did he spread that video. Rafi says that it's not him. But here's the thing. Rome said that the person that's in the video, yes, it's indeed Dean, but at that time, Dean, it was years ago. So the fact that that video decided to just show up out of nowhere, especially on the very time when Rome decided to take Rafi to the party, and it just happened to coincidentally be that it's after the party that the video came out. Of course that Rome knows it's Rafi, especially the fact that he knows that Rafi hates Dean. But Rafi is like, you can't assume anything when you don't got proof. And I'm like, he kind of right. But at the same time, damn, Rafi, I don't condole with what you did. You could have did something else, but this was all-time low. But Rome, you should blame yourself, because you're the reason that Rafi got to the party, gets to know all this information, knew damn well that this boy ain't good at keeping secrets, or at least if you didn't know, you know now. So next time, you don't bring this boy anywhere. I get that you're starting to like this person, but it's not even right anymore. At this point, you did this just because he gave you a good hand job. I don't know what to say about this one. We then see Dean crying, looking at a picture of him along with his mother and sister. It was then we realized the whole purpose of his hosting gig. I don't think he even wanted to do it, but he wanted to have money for his family. And while he's looking at it, he saw Jack coming in, and of course he didn't want Jack to see him crying, so he wiped away his tears and put away the picture. Now, seeing everything and seeing what the reason for the breakup, it wasn't that big, but it wasn't that small at the same time. It was in between, because I was like, why would you have sex with your ex? What was the whole point of the breakup if you're still meeting up and having sex and you're putting him into a play? You're not even trying to avoid. This is why then you realize in episode 3 that this breakup wasn't that big, but it wasn't that small. But it was average to the point that you can actually tolerate that person. Jack then looked at Dean and said that he apologized for how he took the situation. He apologized for what he said, but also he then said that he never liked the fact that Dean would do hosting. He knew about his family, but then Dean is like, you don't understand how I have to struggle. The fact that I don't have money like most people. I have to actually work as hard to get what I want, to take care of my sister, get tuition for my sister, and to take care of my mother. Jack said he understands that, but what he didn't understand is that even though at the time they were in a relationship, Dean never once went to Jack to ask for whatever he needed. Like, if he wanted the money, why didn't he go to Jack? Dean said he didn't want to bother Jack with that situation because he didn't want to be a burden. Jack said that's not what this relation or what the relationship was about in the first place if you were hiding these things. He also said he never liked that Dean lied to him at the time, but also it's because of the guy that was in that video. He never liked the guy as well. And the fact that he knew what this guy is about. But Dean also said they never did anything. He just served some drinks and that was it. Dude, when I saw them kiss, I'm like, is this a clear indication that we're getting back together? Because even though we didn't physically mouth the word, let's get back together. Or is it the fact that, oh, I'm forgiving you kiss? Dude, I don't even know. But at this point, I'm not seeing next week's episode showing that they're together. I'm just seeing this. I remember seeing the behind the scenes special, and Mix did so good, got emotional, but also we can see that Earth right here standing ground, keeping composure while staying in character, because I know deep down he wants to cry. You know what's funny? Is the fact that when Rafi was talking to Rome and he spilled to Rome that he did all this so he can get Jack, and he left just so he can be with Jack to show Jack that he is always with him. But in actuality, Rafi, you just made everything better. You just brought the two that supposed to hate each other. They brought them closer. You gave them closure. And you got them to kiss right in front of you. You saw all this. You thought you did the best job. No, sir. You doing this all wrong. And now you're looking at the person that you thought you were going to, be with is kissing on his ex. Like, dude, you failed. Just go home, curl up in a ball, and just repent. I don't know what to say to you, sir. Because you will never, how many times will you look at this situation and look at Jack and realize that you will never get him? Grow up. Find yourself or something and then just woo-saw or meditate or something. Because you're not going to get the guy. Move on, sir. You even got the brother, sir. You got the brother. Move the hell on. The only thing I can tell you is if you ever get the chance to sleep with Jack, it got to be that you drug Jack to the point that he has no brain and that happens. Other from that, that situation that you think you're going to have will never have or will never be. This episode was great. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm invested now. I'm in episode 3. I can't wait for episode 4.